we do have the SuperMoto Academy. So all eyes to the lights. Edward Darnton on pole. Archie Reynolds and Max Rhodes complete that front row. And that's a good launch there for the number 41 of Edward Darnton. There's the number 10 on the left-hand side of your picture, on the track, right-hand side of the picture. That's Cole Reynolds as they now find their way through in towards Mere Hairpin. So watching them, Edward Darnton and Archie Reynolds almost side by side as they went through in towards Mere. But it's Edward Darnton who comes out on top on that white and blue machine. The number 41 ahead of the number 5 of Archie Reynolds. Max Rhodes, who was third on the grid, just dropping a position or so as they head in towards the paddock for the first time of 9. So Darnton leads Reynolds, who leads, that is Bennett. So Jackson Bennett from the second row, 5th position on the grid, up into 3rd place. Yeah,
it will be the 79 of Jackson Bennett that will be wanting to redeem himself. He looked very frustrated as he crossed the line at the end of race 1. So to be up towards that 3rd place mark, that's where he'll want to be now, chasing down the number 5 of Archie Reynolds as they make their way through the off-road section. Brother Cole Reynolds there demoted to 4th place, but an excellent ride from him in race 1, and again they do opt for those split lanes.
Certainly do, and some going outside then inside, some going inside then outside. But it is Edward Darnton who, as they make their way back out onto the tarmac, the 41 using all of the track and a little bit more almost, did Edward Darnton. Hard on the brakes now, rear wheel just about fishtailing as he goes in through the left-hander and back over to the right now in this Academy race. And then Edward Darnton coming around to complete lap number 1. Bike number 41 leading the way ahead of Archie Reynolds on the number 5.
Yep, so Darnton already extending out a 1.4 second leads there to Reynolds, who has a 3 second advantage over Jackson Bennett on that opening lap. And then it's very little between him and Cole Reynolds there, who will be battling for that 3rd place position, I'm sure. But here we get to watch the 41 of Darnton there, just the rear end swerving, slightly under braking into this infield section, but he just looks so relaxed. He's just absolutely hitting his marks on that 85, and a bit of a wheelie there as he pops it out towards the house.
Certainly does, and well, this will do his confidence no end of good, and the more confident you are, the quicker you are, and the quicker you are, the more confident you become. So it's a very happy circle at the moment for number 41 of Edward Darnton as he just leaps his way now through over the jump into the left-hander, and he goes outside to inside, and that seems to be his preferred line because he's been using that all day long.
Yep, he has, and you can see there, that was the number 5 of Archie Reynolds, looking very racy as he made his way around that berm. You can see how it is starting to whoop out ever so slightly there, and then really trying to get hard on the gas on the Automotive Solutions KTM there. The back end squirming under power on that dust with the tarmac. But he's not able to close that gap down on Edward Darnton just yet. So as they cross the line, it's a fastest lap for Edward Darnton, doing a 1:22.8, and that gap now extends out to 1.8 seconds as they cross the line. And then it is a further 5.4 seconds back to Jackson Bennett, who's trying to keep the number 10 of Cole Reynolds and the 58 of Max Rhodes at bay there for that battle for 3rd place.
Watching them come through, 1.8 seconds, as you said, was the gap between Edward Darnton and Archie Reynolds. Then quite a bit of time between themselves and Jackson Bennett, and having a great fight with Cole Reynolds and Max Rhodes for that final rostrum position. So watching them as they go past the trees, behind the control tower, and past the house now, in towards the left-hander that brings them in towards the dirt section. There we have the last laps from the top 3 riders. 1:22.8 for Edward Darnton, a 23.2 for Archie Reynolds, and a 1:25.7 for Jackson Bennett.
Yep, and Tyler Clark currently sat in a relatively lonely 6th place there, the number 6. He's had a really challenging day here so far, going down in, I believe, 2 of these races. So an issue in the off-road and then an issue on the banking section into the paddock. But again, it's the number 5 of Archie Reynolds getting absolutely sideways on the Automotive Solutions KTM as he comes round, farm bends, trying to get the power down. We'll see, has Darnton been able to extend that lead? It looks like he has, so Darnton doing another fastest lap there with a 1:22.543, and then he's extended that gap now out to almost 4 seconds. So he's definitely put the hammer down on Reynolds.
Through the right-hander as they go in towards the paddock once again, 3.9 seconds between Darnton and Reynolds 6.4 seconds up the road from Jackson Bennett and Cole Reynolds as well. So Cole Reynolds less than half a second behind Jackson Bennett. It could well be, if it was to remain this way and Cole Reynolds is to find a way through, and Jackson Bennett, 2 Reynolds brothers on the podium.
Yep, it could be. So we'll keep a close eye on the number 10 of Cole Reynolds there on board that Automotive Solutions TM. So he's doing a great job there of holding off the 58 of Max Rhodes up there, who currently sits in 5th place. But is he able to keep the pressure on the 79 of Jackson Bennett as they come towards the off-road?
Got some big air even on these little 85s there for the number 5 of Archie Reynolds, but through the outside then back onto the inside. Edward Darnton there, you can see he's just about clearing that tabletop from the start to finish as Cole Reynolds goes for the inside then outside to try and carry the momentum around the outside of Jackson Bennett. Can he get it done? So back over the top, and they're side by side as they come out of the dirt and back onto the tarmac. Cole Reynolds, a little bit of a twitch there. Look across to the right-hand side, and Jackson Bennett is there, and he leaves him enough racing room. So good racecraft for the number 10 of Cole Reynolds. And who's that going around the outside?
That is Max Rhodes, an absolutely cracking pass there from the number 58. So round the outside of both Cole Reynolds and Jackson Bennett there. That was an absolutely cracking pass there, but Jackson Bennett is having none of it, gets the run onto the start-finish straight and retakes that 3rd place.
So into the right-hander, and Max Rhodes, I'm not quite sure where he found that corner speed, but he won't be complaining, and neither are we, because that was a brilliant move to make up 2 positions around Farm Bends. But he's back down to 4th position now, and Cole Reynolds, number 10, is right there in 5th place as well. The leading 2 are through at the top of your picture. Edward Darnton now well on his way in towards the dirt section as we keep a very close eye on this battle for 3rd place, and that is that's Bennett from Rhodes and then Cole Reynolds in that order.
It is. So Reynolds there that was doing all the work through the off-road section, taking that inside to outside line, then to have it all scuppered by the 58 of Max Rhodes there, taking them both on Farm Bends. So we'll have to keep a very close eye and see if Rhodes is able to replicate that pass now as he comes up through the off-road. So opting for the outside to inside line, all 3 of these riders making their way down and heading up towards the step-up.
Just watching them as they go over there. I thought there was a all-head flag, but it was my eyes deceiving me. As Cole Reynolds, a little bit of a mistake there for the number 10 of Cole Reynolds, but it's all under control now. But that has cost him valuable and precious seconds as he makes his way back out onto the circuit and in towards Farm Bends.
Yeah, a little mistake there from Cole Reynolds, just not being able to get the power down as he head up that step up. But here is the 79 of Jackson Bennett, who leads Max Rhodes as we come across the line heading towards the mere hairpin, and it is Rhodes there that's trying to tag on to the back of the number 79 as they come round, and it looks like Bennett's managed to get himself just a little bit of breathing room there as they head up the banking into the paddock.
Certainly does, but Max Rhodes, number 58, is looking to regroup and revitalise his campaign for that 3rd place position. So Jackson Bennett doing a great job of defending that final podium position at the moment. As we do have some good battles further down the order as well. I just noticed Josh Walker and Rip Jennings for 7th and 8th, both coming across the line with a personal best for Rip Jennings. So certainly one to keep an eye on the timing tower on the left-hand side of your picture. But in the meantime, the 79 of Jackson Bennett, he is still holding on just about to that 3rd position. But Max Rhodes is close enough, and if he can do the same as what he did a couple of laps ago, it could well be promoting himself into that 3rd place.
Yep, so we'll keep a very close eye. Here is Bennett making his way up the off-road, and then it is Rhodes. So he is close enough here, but is he able to carry as much corner speed as he was? So he is. He dives round the outside and makes that move stick on Jackson Bennett. I think he's the only rider we've seen making a move round Farm Bends there so far today. But does it compromise him for his run down towards mere hairpin?
Certainly does, because Jackson Bennett goes around the outside there and carrying more momentum and hard on the brakes now. Jackson Bennett is back through, but what is important there, so Jackson Bennett leads as they go in towards mere hairpin, but across the line, 3rd place was credited to Max Rhodes. So if he can do that on the final lap, we are on the penultimate lap now, if he can do that on the final lap, could well be a podium for Max.
Absolutely, and that is what matters as they make their way through. And it is a little mistake there, a little wobble there for Bennett as he just taps the toe on this infield section, which has allowed Max Rhodes to tag right onto the back wheel of that KTM as they head down through the paddock and past the house, and then it's hard on the brakes as they make that left-hander into our off-road section, then high up on the berm trying to get the power down on these 85cc's as they send it over that tabletop and make their way towards the split lane. So both of them opting for outside to inside yet again here through our Trips UK off-road section. And you can see there it's just starting to, again, like I said, whoop out through that berm, and a slight mistake there from Rhodes as he came onto the step up, so which has allowed a little bit of breathing room for Bennett as they exit onto the tarmac.
Edward Darnton, notice on the left-hand side there, I mean, you've got a 4-second advantage, but why not just put in the fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 22.172 to further extend that lead. And we're looking at him now as he bounces back up into the top part of the paddock. Now hard onto the brakes there and through the left-hander in the middle of the paddock. Takes a look to his left and he'll see that Archie Reynolds is about 4.5 seconds behind, so he's got plenty in hand. Has the number 41 of Edward Darnton, and he's looking good with just half a lap to go.
Yeah, I think if we watch Edward Darnton through the off-road here, you'll see a perfect example of a lad that's absolutely enjoying and loving his racing here. So just watching through here, I'm sure we'll get a little bit of style over the tabletop, which we do. Slight barter in there, and then he opts for outside, and he'll head down towards the inside berm, up this step up. And again, I think we'll watch him try and send it up here with a little bit more styles for Miles. And here he goes up over that tabletop there, and heading out back onto that tarmac section. And like you say, using all the track, he has paid for it all, so clipping the curve towards Farm Bends, which will lead him back out onto our start-finish straight.
Through the left and back over to the right, and it's a home and dry then for the number 41 of Edward Darnton, who does a much better wheelie this time around than what he did earlier on today. So great stuff there for the youngster. It's another victory here at Oliver's Mount, this time by 4.8 seconds over the number 5 of Archie Reynolds. So that is your order. And here we go then. Jackson Bennett is in third, but Max Rhodes around the outside, just drives around the outside there. And a little bit of a squirm there on the exit. Jackson Bennett has a run on him. They go side by side across the line. And it will be Max Rhodes who is credited with third position by 0.01 of a second.
Yeah, great pass there from Max Rhodes. He knew exactly what he needed to do to cross the line there and take a podium position away from Jackson Bennett. But a great race there from the pair of them. So it is Max Rhodes from Jackson Bennett, and then Cole Reynolds there finishing in a well-deserved 5th place. And here we see the number 6 of Tyler Clark in a relatively lonely 6th place.
Yeah, Tyler Clark, his fastest lap of the race was a 26.895. On that previous or final lap, it was a 33.2. So he must have made a mistake somewhere around this course. As across the line now, again, side by side between Rip Jennings and Josh Walker. But it does go in favour of the number Rip Jennings there, in 7th position ahead of Josh Walker in 8th.
It was a fastest lap there for the 4.55 of Josh Walker on that last lap. So personal best for him, doing a 1:27.621. So definitely chasing down the 1:97 of Rip Jennings on that last lap. And then our final rider to come across the line is the 444 of Alfie Wright. So down in the paddock just behind the control tower here, there is our podium contenders on this one. So that is the 79 of Jackson Bennett and the number 5 of Archie Reynolds giving us a wave there. So they'll get these bikes onto the podiums and then they get to go and have their moment up on the Oliver's Mount podium. So if you are a spectator on the banking, make sure when they come out you do give them a big round of applause, because that was some excellent racing there from all 3 of them.